everyone, how are you? Now, today our subject is comparative typology, which compares languages in different fields. Today's topic is word formation in the English, Russian and Uzbek languages. Well, we will speak about word formation in linguistics, types of word formation in compared languages, similarities and differences, ways of compared languages, and in these three languages, English, Uzbek and Russian. Well, we can see some keywords: lexicography, transformation, isomorphisms, allophones, interval corresponds, literal translation, some morphemes, marked and non-marked units. And I am going to recommend to you some literature which you can use improve your knowledge based on, about comparative typology. Arakin and Buranov's literary work we have, and canon, historical chance, English word formation, new vocabulary items, and it helps to improve how to identify the stem and morpheme. Well, next one. In linguistics, word formation, what is? Word formation, it is creation of a new word by using internal opportunities or sometimes borrowing from other words. But we shouldn't confuse word formation with semantic change, which is change in single word's meaning. The line between word formation and semantic change is sometimes a bit blurry. What one person views as new use of an old word, another person might view as a new word derived from an old one and identical to it in form. Word formation can also be contrasted with the formation of idiomatic expressions, though sometimes words can form from multi-word phrases. They are connected, but word formation is creating new words. But these two meanings, the first meaning and the meaning of the forming, they are related. Well, there are two major groups of word formation in modern English. They are productive ways and non-productive word formation. Productive, it is compounding, prefixation, suffixation, conversion and shortening. Productive, it means that there are many words, lots of words which are formed by this way. Non-productive, it means that there are few words. We can see some words which are formed by this way, but very few words, not many words. For example, sound interchange, stress interchange, sound imitation, blending and back formation. Well, two main ways of word formation can be used in Russian too. They are word formation, morphological way, affixation, compounding, non-morphological way, morphological syntactical, lexical syntactical, and lexical semantical. In the second one, we have given to you the translation of this term in Russian, словообразование, морфологический способ, аффиксация, сложные и другие. Well, while analyzing the word formation in languages, we must pay attention to the type of language, because it influences to it. English is analytic language, Russian is synthetic language. That's why there are different ways of word formation, but we also can mention some similarities. What about Uzbek? There are 5 main ways of word formation in modern Uzbek: affixation, phonetic, semantic, composition and abbreviation. Well, the main similarity of forming words is having the way affixing in all compared these three languages. In English, in Uzbek, in Russian also, we can mention, affixation. English prefixes are such particles that can be prefixed to full words, and it is mostly characteristic for forming words. Prefix can be considered more independent than suffix in English. It means that there are many prefixes in English and they are independent. Prefix used in notional words are proper prefix, which are bound morphemes. For example, write, rewrite. Prefixes used in functional words are semi-bound morphemes because they are made in the language as words over-protected, over the word. Okay, prefix can be classified according to their principles. The first one is semantic classification. According to this one, it has also 3 subdivisions. Prefix of negative meaning. For example, valuable, invaluable. It gives negative meaning. For example, possible, able to do, or can be, impossible. It is opposite, vice versa to the verb. And morphological, non-morphological, fiction, non-fiction, happy, unhappy, etc. Second one is prefix denoting repetition or reversal action, such as the, re, this. For example, regulate, deregulate. It means denoting repetition or reverse action. Do. It means redo. Do it again. It's reversal actions, repetition. Disappear, it is reversal action. For example, appear, disappear, reversal actions. And the third one is prefix denoting time, space, degree, relations. For example, national, international, denoting the space around the geographical area. Hypertension, or friend, ex-friend. It means it is time. Ex-friend, it is not our friend now. It was our friend, according to the time. And pray, reading, pre-reading. We have such kind of activities, pre-reading activities, while reading activities, post-reading activities. It means according to the time, or degree sometimes, overhead. Well, second classification, it is according to the origin of prefix can be classified in English, because there are many borrowed words and also borrowed prefix. Native in Germany, an, over, under. Second type, from Romanian one, in, de, x, re. Greek, sim, hyper, and besides them there are lots of borrowed prefix in English. Auto, demi, mono, multi, semi, post. They are borrowed from another language as a foreign language in English. Well, and on the contrary, with English prefix, Russian and Uzbek have not any classification, but it doesn't mean that there is no any prefix in Russian and Uzbek. There are also some prefix which can give the negative meaning. For example, ne, недоступный, or in Uzbek, no, normal, no, sir. But there are many other types of prefix Russian, in Uzbek, and in English. For example, be, ba, si, ne, pri, ra. And one more thing, that is the main features of Russian. There is such verb in Russian which can be combined with almost all prefix. For example, ехать. We can use the verb ехать with many prefix, almost with all prefix. For example, поехать, въехать, наехать, заехать, доехать. Съехать, въехать, не доехать, приехать, приехать. Уговорить. Поговорить, заговорить, наговорить, переговорить, надо говорить. Okay, if you pay attention, one word can be formed with all prefix. It means it is one feature of Russian. Russian is both inflectional and synthetic language. What about in Uzbek? We have bo, bano, serham, bebaho, bao, brö, serho, serham, shahar, and others. All prefixes in Uzbek language are borrowed from Tajik and Persian language. It means there is no the prefix which is in real Uzbek in the Uzbek language. Thus, prefixation is productive word formation in all languages, but in English it is more important, more productive. And we can say that in all languages mostly noun and adjective can be formed with prefix, but in English we can form also verb. But in English and Russian, adverbs cannot be formed by prefixation. And And also in English, in Uzbek also we can form word by the help of prefixation. Okay, and suffix. Suffix which can be form different part of speech. For example, noun forming suffix er, dom, for example, cook, cooker, dom, official dom, is ni, as, in Uzbek uch, chi, etc. Adjective forming suffix, for example, in English able, separable, less, useless, and in Russian ni, silny, in Uzbek li, troyle, siz, tuzsiz. Verb forming suffix, such as ice, modernize, efy, modify. In Russian, nicha, a, la, lan. In Uzbek, we can see. Adverb, such elvar, it is the famous, productive suffix in English, which form adverb. Likely, likely, early, and others. In Russian also, o. In Uzbek, lab, ona. For example, chelak, martona, matlarcha, larcha also. And numeral forming, we can say that in English and in Russian we can form numeral with suffix 16, and in English 50 in Russian, but in Uzbek we can add some suffix, but it doesn't change the lexical meaning. For example, the word ikita or yettinchi, we can change just the form of noun, a numeral, not noun, numeral, but it doesn't change the lexical meaning. This is why I don't come to use. In Uzbek, there is no suffix which can be formed numeral. And next one is semantic classification of suffix. The agent of the action, nationality, quality, collectivity, and diminutiveness. Well, suffix added to verbal stems, suffix added to noun stems, suffix can be added to adjective stems. For example, noun stems, commute, for verb, commute it is verb, commuter it is noun. Able, it is suffix, fly it is verb, flyable, it is adjective. It means we can add to verbal stem. Suffix added to noun stems. For example, small it is noun, smallless. Room it is noun, roomful. Or suffix added to adjective stem. For example, weak it is adjective, weaken, while adding en, we can make verb. Well, and in Uzbek also we can say güzel, güzellik. We can add. There is one rule that we can't form verb from verb. It means that we can make verb by adding different suffix, but in another part of speech. For noun, for adjective, but we can't form in Uzbek just only. We can't form verb by adding stem, verb plus suffix. We can't. Sound imitation is a way of word building when verb is formed by imitating, such as whisper, mumble, sneeze, whistle, or to hiss, to buzz, bark, sound produced by animals, sound produced by human, sound produced by nature and object. In English and in Russian we can add. What about in Uzbek? In Uzbek also we can add some suffix. For example, we can add some suffix and we can make verb by adding sound imitation. But not a sound imitation, it is called in Uzbek suffixation. But we can use some sounds for making some new word. And blends. Blends are words formed from a word group of two synonyms. They are blended, and blends formed from two synonyms. For example, hostel, gizahol, it is So, for example, smoke. It is smoke plus talk. We add two related synonyms and we create one word. It's called blend. What about back formation? It is vice versa to suffixation or affixation. Word building, when a word is formed by dropping the final morpheme to form a new word. It is opposite to suffixation. And in this type of forming, the word is one of the distinctive features of English among Russian and Uzbek. We can see these features just only in English one, not Uzbek and Russian. And the last distinctive feature of Uzbek language word formation way is composition. Composition is compounding. It's the one. Composition. It is one of the important way which can be made words in Uzbek. It means that we can create new words by repeating them and by making pair words. In Uzbek also, just only in Uzbek we can see this kind of thing. Finally, from the analysis of compared languages can be found several similarities and differences in word formation. The first one, similarity. It is possible to show the extent of types of affixation in all languages, or amount of derived words and suffixes which can change the meaning from one part of speech to another. On the contrary, as difference can be presented some ways of forming words in English, Russian and Uzbek, which cannot be found in word forming system of other languages. The main way of word formation in English is considered compounding, while Russian and Uzbek it is affixation. Derived words in English mostly can be formed with compounding, affixation and conversion, and in Russian and Uzbek can be observed two of them besides conversation. In this language, conversation is not well developed. And conversion, it means that one word with one part of speech move to another part of speech, but keeping the related meaning. For example, the word work. I have much work. I work much. Work, it is both verb and noun. There are lots of examples in English. In Uzbek also we can see some words. For example, kurash, shish, yel. They are also based on conversation. But in English it is well developed. In Russian and Uzbek it is not well developed. We can see some very few words, examples. Well, and if you have a question, thank you very much. Goodbye.